The boss is gonna love this! I'll do in those blubs with my patented hypnotic machine! The ultimate gray matter bending, brain cell blending, mind-blowing machine! The blubs will be under my control. Stick around if you want to watch the slaughter! I'm a god! Target in sight! Locking onto the idiot father!
Oh, what is that racket? Who could that be circling our house at this time of day? Well, I'm gonna have to take things into my own hands, I can see that. Honey, can you help me strap Mother down? I think she drank regular instead of decaf this morning. Do you remember our wedding day, Poopsie? I didn't think so. You looked me right in the eyes and said, whatever happens, you can always count on me. Unless we crash land on another planet and your mother becomes a homicidal maniac. Oh my! A bus full of naked supermodels just broke down outside the door.
The game!
Honey, you need some exercise.
There.
Oh, Mom's destroying everything, Dad. We've got to do something and fast.
You know your mother, Princess. When she's got an idea in her head, nothing can stop her, except 4-point restraints. Why, I remember once, never mind.
What if she tries to kill my husband? Well, she wanted to do that when she was sane.
Well, you married a moron. You should have married Georgie Glubb. At least you'd have plenty of entrails.
Oh, Nana loves to play with her little boy. Mother has always had some strange ideas about disciplining the kids. Oh, those darn moles smoked my lettuce again. Oh dear, oh my, oh, well. Oh, this central heating is so primitive. Take that! Oh, ow, oh, oh. Oh, what's he guarding against? Marauding earthworms? Oh, I must remember not to leave this lying around. Someone might slip on it.
Welcome to the stage of Galaxy of Fortune! Meet our contestants, Mr. X.
Hi, Mom.
And Mrs. Blub. Hello. To all our first-time viewers, let me just say, thanks for nothing. And now let's briefly review how the game works. Our contestants must answer a question for each planet that comes up on the big wheel. They win 200 points for each right answer, but they lose a turn for each wrong answer. Bonus points and forfeits are calculated in arbitrary and confusing amounts just to spice up the action. 1,000 points and you reach Nirvana, but if you lose 1,000, you'll be plunged into the icy void of space. Gosh, isn't this a fun show? A senseless, arbitrary decision means, Mr. X, you're first. Let's take a look at one of the hip interstellar locations presented here on Galaxy of Fortune. Pretentious, the art planet.
Well, Link, just look at these sprawling vistas of twisted metal and structures in iron and plastic. Isn't this actually Dumpius, the garbage planet? No, Link, these stinking, rotting carcasses of refuse are actually works of art. And what this is. The artistic inhabitants of this planet are rude, self-important, poor, and out of step with the rest of the universe. All I can say, Link, is that if this is art, I'm a Grabloxian warthog.
What does this work of art represent? A sunset on Pretentious. A self-portrait of the artist. A nude portrait of the artist's wife.
Oh, a self-portrait of the artist!
And the answer is a self-portrait of the artist. Excellent eye! It's a portrait of the artist himself. He painted this self-portrait after ending a tragic love affair with himself. I'm afraid your incorrect answer has lost you the round. Mr. X, you've won this monumental work of art made entirely of crushed spaceships.
Hey, our spaceship ain't crushed, but it sure looks like that!
My dear Mr. X, it's your turn to play again. Well done! Now it's bonus point time! My dear Mr. X, it's your turn to play again. Oh, I'm sorry. You lose a point. What a shame. Mrs. Blub, it's your turn to play again. Here's Lunaria, the psychiatric planet.
Well, Link, this heavily padded planet may be the nuttiest spot in the universe, if you don't count Los Angeles. Its exports include schizophrenia, neurosis, psychosis, and the urge to go into politics. Though their planet is a total shambles, Lunarians welcome the many visitors who flock here to make fun of them. Many famous people can be found here. In fact, 200 million inhabitants think they're a real Napoleon. Half think they've just conquered Europe, and the other half think they're dessert. Yes, on Lunaria you can really get away from it all, especially if you're trying to get away from sanity.
And the question is, what time is it? What time is it? Next year? 6:30 galactic mean time? Or, I don't know, I've forgotten my umbrella. You've got 1 minute.
Next year.
And the answer is number 1. Well done! The question was just so easy. Mrs. Blub, you've won a lengthy stay on Lunaria where you'll be treated to a deluxe rubber room.
Oh, thank you, but I think this current vacation may last me for a lifetime.
Mrs. Blub, it's your turn to play again.
Oh.
Let's take a look at one of the fabulous interstellar locations presented here on Galaxy of Fortune. Relaxius, the vacation planet.
Well, Johnny, the vacation planet is a place that blows. Hot and cold. Vast Arctic and desert winds washed by vast oceans make this planet a vast vacation playground. Here, interstellar travelers come to fry their outer skins to a leathery toughness by a soon-to-go nova sun. A whole plethora of activities organized by a charming subhumanoid staff envelops the weary vacationer in an atmosphere of total pleasure and expense. It's hard to forget a stay in Relaxius. Of course, it's hard to survive one, too.
This is a question of observation. Make sure you look very carefully. What's the favorite pastime of the tourist behind you? Is it long-distance biking, skiing, or whaling? You've got 1 minute.
Whaling.
And the answer is long-distance biking. Our contestant didn't notice the bicycle clip, which our friendly tourist wears to show off his favorite pastime. I'm afraid you lose. My dear Mr. X, it's your turn to play again. And now, another question about the vacation planet. Another question of observation. What is the favorite pastime of the tourist behind you? Is it surfing, getting a suntan, or drinking cocktails on the beach? You've got 1 minute.
Drinking cocktails?
And the answer is drinking cocktails on the beach. You got it in 1! You noticed the lovely red nose sported by our charming tourist, a total wimp who tans under a sun lamp and has never even touched a surfboard in her pitiful life. On the other hand, she can make a mean martini. Mr. X, you won a fabulous holographic postcard. I'm sure the recipient will treasure it for life.
None of my friends can read, and, anyhow, I don't know how to write.
My dear Mr. X, it's your turn to play again. Let's take a look at that wild planet, Partius.
Well, Link, you won't have trouble finding a good time on Partius. It'll find you! The entire population has been partying for so long, no one remembers what they're celebrating. You can recognize them by their scarlet nasal appendages and the huge bags under their eyes. This may actually be the noisiest planet in the universe. In fact, nearby planets have complained about the noise for centuries. Wisely, the inhabitants of Partius have avoided wars by always inviting their neighbors. If you're planning a trip to Partius, remember to bring plenty of aspirin.
All the questions are about the skills of this Partius specimen. The answers will be verified on the spot by this extraordinary person. First question. How many six-packs can our specimen drink in one sitting? Less than 2 six-packs? Between 2 and 10 six-packs? Or over 10 six-packs? Think it over. You've got 1 minute.
Between 2 and 10 six-packs.
And the answer is over 10 six-packs. Let's have that answer verified by our guzzling guest right away. I'm afraid your incorrect answer has lost you the round. Mrs. Blub, it's your turn to play again. Well done! Now it's bonus point time! Mrs. Blub, it's your turn to play again. Oh, I'm sorry. You lose a point. What a shame. My dear Mr. X, it's your turn to play again. And now, another question about the vacation planet. Another question of observation. What is the favorite pastime of the tourist behind you? Is it mountain climbing, tennis, or sailing? You've got 1 minute.
Sailing.
And the answer is, of course, mountain climbing. Incorrectamundo! I'm afraid the ice pick was just a little too well hidden. What a shame. Your stupendously wrong answer has lost you the round. Mrs. Blub, it's your turn to play again.
Oh.
And now another question about the planet of art. What does this work of art represent? A sunset on Pretentious. A self-portrait of the artist. A nude portrait of the artist's wife.
A self-portrait of the artist.
And the answer is a nude portrait. Oh, shucks. It is indeed the artist's wife shortly after an unsuccessful facial peel. I'm afraid your incorrect answer has lost you the round and shown everyone in the galaxy what an idiot you are. My dear Mr. X, it's your turn to play again. Let's take a look at one of the fabulous interstellar locations presented here on Galaxy of Fortune. Triplicatius, the red tape planet.
Well, Link, I have one word of advice when traveling to this incredible destination. If you want to spend your next vacation on Triplicatius, pack a lawyer. You have to fill out over 100 forms just to get an entry visa. Plan to spend at least 2 weeks getting through customs. Exploring this planet is a once-in-a-lifetime adventure, assuming you pass the 223-page entrance exam. Fatten up before you go. It takes 3 forms just to buy a sandwich. And forget about getting toilet paper. Just use the forms. But you didn't hear that from me.
What is your marital status? Married, widowed, or single? You've got 1 minute.
Widowed.
Obviously, the answer depends on your actual marital status. Well done! Your honesty will count against you during your next audit. Mr. X, you've won Tax Reduction Form B-375. Not a tax reduction, of course, just the form. All forms must be completed and filed by the stated deadline, which was yesterday.
Does that apply to capital gains distributions from a qualified retirement plan?
My dear Mr. X, it's your turn to play again. Oh, I'm sorry. You lose a point. What a shame. Mrs. Blub, it's your turn to play again. Well done! Now it's bonus point time! Mrs. Blub, it's your turn to play again. Oh, I'm sorry. My dear... And now we return to the planet of insanity. Hello? The possible replies are, is anybody there? I don't know, I've lost my umbrella. Or, please don't hurt me. You've got 1 minute to answer.
I don't know, I've lost my umbrella.
And the answer is number 3. Oh, too bad. And I thought these questions would be a snap for a nut job like you. I'm afraid your incorrect answer has lost you the round. Mrs. Blub. Well done. Now it's both. Mrs. Here's one of the fabulous interstellar locations presented here on Galaxy of Fortune. Effluvius, the pollution planet.
Well, Link, Effluvius is not for the squeamish. This poisoned wasteland is only for the hardy explorer looking for a new thrill, like whitewater rafting on rivers of sulfuric acid. Hey, don't get wet. Love the smell of burning tires? Well, Effluvius is your kind of destination, but please don't inhale. Dressed in your fashionable protective overalls, you can explore every nook and cranny of this blighted hellhole. You may even glimpse the blackened remains of a former civilization, if you can manage to see through what passes for air. Yes, and if you're lucky, you might even encounter a sickly effluvian, doomed to extinction on this accursed planet. When you're visiting the pollution planet, remember to bring your own oxygen and plenty of extra film.
A famous entertainer is hidden among these dying inhabitants. Can you find him? Is it number 1, 2, or 3? You've got 1 minute.
Number 2.
And the answer is number 2. The one with the clown nose, of course. Well done! You know, as an entertainer, let me say this guy just kills me. He's a real pro. Mrs. Blub, you've won a designer gas mask, the indispensable accessory for the city dweller with lungs.
Oh, it'll be very handy when my husband takes off his socks.
Mrs. Blub, it's... Here's one of our fabulous interstellar locations presented on Galaxy of Fortune. It's Maffius, the gangster planet.
Well, Link, this planet is known for its interesting local customs. These include revenge killings, drug trafficking, and fine dining. While on Maffius, check out the many wonderful lounge shows. But just make sure you return all favors. For vice aplenty, it's Maffius, the planet you can't refuse.
Only one type of Maffius inhabitant cannot be corrupted. Which one? The judges, the police, or the corpses? You've got 1 minute.
The corpses!
And the answer is the corpses. Great! You can't bribe a corpse. However, it is possible to bribe a corpse's family. Mrs. Blub, you've won a Maffia's contract to eliminate the person of your choice.
Oh, I won't eat my
Even
dust.
though it defies the laws of this universe, the winner is Mrs. Blub. Goodbye, Mr. X.
I'll get you!
So, Mrs. Blub, are you ready for round 2?
Oh.
Yes, you've got a chance to win this magnificent vacation cruiser! Give the wheel another spin, Mrs. Blub!
Alrighty, here I go. Yes, yes. Huh?
Mrs. Blob, you have lost!
Now we'll never get home.
Thanks for playing. Now, into the void!
Back to work or I'll block your hoses.
Excusez-moi. Our contract expressly forbids any harassment by management. So, what sackle do you want?
If it's not too much trouble, I'd like the program for ground-in bloodstains, please.
Hey, what's all that noise?
I got Mom outside. She's powering up the chainsaw. Now what?
Here's the plan. We'll swoop down on him in one of my old inventions. Not the combination can opener at-home vasectomy kit that was outlawed on
Dad,
our
there's
planet.
no time for that.
Okay! Unfortunately, the machine needs a few things to work. We need something to make the wings, a propeller, a motor, and a frame to hold it all together. Get those 4 things and I'll wait for you on the roof.
Dad?
Oh, thanks. Just put it there.
Dad?
Oh, thanks. Drop it anywhere.
Here's your propeller.
Well, chuck it over.
Now what?
I've got everything. Give me a hand. Give me that. Almost done here. Just need a couple. couple of more adjustments there. Here we go.
Oh,
Hey!
dear.
Hey! Stop interrupting! So, where are those burrowing rodents? Okay, start pedaling, you sightless weasels. All right, now the wings. Okay, there you go. Okay, there, it's done. Well, good luck. We'll need it.
Turn in the direction of the skid. Come on, guys. Come on. That's it. You're doing fine. Keep pedaling, you little dears. I'll steer. Oh, faster. We're catching up. Oh, there he is. We've got him.
Uh-oh.
Take that. Oh, mission accomplished, girls. We won.
Game's over now, dear. So what was it you wanted me to do? Calm down, I'm only trying to help. No!
That's for this stupid machine! And for letting them escape, and damn it, I enjoy hitting you! Out of my sight, you miserable lizard dung failure! And don't forget your great invention, Pitiful Runt!